Welcome back. Spionada ground for Johannesburg Chase. They're set 63 to beat this Athens team. The Athens bowlers and fielders will know they haven't posted as big a score as they would like, and if they are going to win this game, they're going to have to bowl and field excellently. This strong Joburg team. Opening the batting is Denolan. It's the vice captain, wearing a distinctive yellow helmet. And opening with him is Mpumi, who we saw early on, bowled a bit of spin earlier in the Athens innings, but conceded quite a few wides, so he'll want to make a good effort with the bat. So welcome back those who are watching the first half of this game, and to those of you who have just tuned in, good morning. My name's Tim Brooks. I'm a specialist in global cricket. I'm over from England to support and cover this 4th International Schools Tournament in what is a beautiful part of the world. It's wonderful to see teams from across the world come to compete in Corfu, make new friends, learn about the game. But also very, very important to the Hellenic Cricket Federation is the spirit of cricket, that the game is played in the right spirit. Teams are competitive, yes, but also respectful. These are the qualities that cricket embodies. I'm sure we've got some of you out there will know your cricket very well, and we'll be looking at the techniques of these players, and others of you maybe haven't watched cricket much in the past, so I'll try and give you a flavour of how the game is played and the different aspects of it. So to start with, here we have a slip in place, and this is the fielder that's standing next to the wicketkeeper, and his job is to take catches that hit the edge of the bat. The other fielders are very close around the bat. First up is a bit short. Go for the LBW shout. That looked like it was going over the top to me. So again, for those who are new to cricket, that the reason the fielding team were excited there was because it hit the pads of the batsman. And if, in the umpire's view, the ball was going on to hit the wickets, then the umpire can give the batsman out, leg before wickets. But in that case, the ball looked to be quite high, so going on to miss the top of the stumps, and therefore, in the umpire's opinion, that was not out. Well, that ball stayed quite low, surprised the batsman, Denolan, who just jammed his bat down. It's one of the difficulties of batting is when the bounce of the ball is inconsistent. It makes it very difficult to bat. That's a good shot. Just played that confidently back to the bowler, who fields well. This is a good start from Athens. The coach will have revved them up. They didn't make as many runs as they'd hope on this pitch, and therefore Joburg's school start the strong favourites. That's a lovely shot. It's a flowing drive. Just takes the single. Good direct hit. But Denolan, quick across the turf, made his crease easily. That was a nice, what we call a nice high elbow. That's when the bat comes through very straight. It's very pleasing on the eye. Mpumi is shorter than his partner, just taking his guard. Couple of fielding changes. You'll see that the aim of the bowling team captain, is to slightly wide outside the off stump. We'll see if the umpire gives it. He does. He stretches his arms out. That means it's wide. It means it's not an unfair delivery. It's not close enough to the batsman to give the batsman a chance to hit it, and therefore to re-bowl that delivery, and you get a penalty run. That's a lovely shot actually, but stopped at extra cover. Just saying, the purpose of the fielding team's captain is to put his fielders in a position where they can both stop runs and also take wickets. As I said before, there's a lot of strategy to the game of cricket. It's been compared by many people to chess, because particularly for the captains, they have to think very hard about the game, about how to gain initiative in the game. So, for example, if you're the bowling team, how to get a wicket, how to put pressure on the batsman, and if you're the batting team, how to score lots of runs, dent the confidence of the bowlers. It's a game that is appeals to people who think a lot about their sport. There's a lot of depth to the game of cricket. It's a more complicated game than football, for instance. More rules, harder to play, but as many of you may have found, as when you watch a bit of cricket or play a bit of cricket, it can really become a great enthusiasm. That's a nice cover drive. That's probably the most pleasant shot of the day so far, technically. Only going to be a single though. Lovely shot by De Nolan, brings Mpumi back onto strike. A short player, I imagine, very good on the cut and the pull. It could be a wide, it's given. Just slipped down the leg side as he tried to work it off his hip. Bit of pace from this bowler. Could be a risky single. De Nolan very fast across the turf. Bit of Jonty Rhodes. Very fast, Michael Bevan from Australia, very quick between the wickets. Some of De Nolan's teammates behind me, and I'm going to ask them why he wears a yellow helmet.
He supports Chennai Super Kings. Supports Chennai Super Kings, the IPL team.
It's inspired by the Indian Premier League, I'm told. Big supporter of one of those franchises. Should support a South African team though, surely. A big strapping fast bowler is in again. That's played off the toes quite nicely, but he finds the man square and only a single. That's a nice shot by Mpumi, just works it off the toes again, very fluid. Looks to be a natural stroke maker. Get different styles of batsmen. You get batsmen that are very strong and powerful and look to use that power to clear the ropes, get lots of fours and sixes. And then you get players which are more stylish perhaps, but use the pace of the ball, just work very hard technically. They're often favourite kind of players, those players maybe a bit like Mpumi, who look very stylish, very, very pleasant to watch. My favourite kind of players are players like that. So it's been a good start by Athens. They were under pressure coming into this innings, having only posted 63. But they look very committed, very up for it. All of the fielders on their toes. But Johannesburg know that the required run rate is only 3 and over. And therefore they can take their time. Oh, that's an outside edge just past the keeper from Mpumi. That just goes for a single. So Denolan now on strike, who plays a slightly false stroke there. I think he was looking to run it down to third man, which is about where we are in the commentary position. But, didn't make a strong contact in the end. That's a square drive that's got through the infield. Maylett for 2 here. They turn, they run. That's good running. You have to get a move on. That's a high. It's good 2. It's quite difficult to score a 2 here because the boundaries are quite short. Well run by Denolan. And that shot is known as an extra cover drive. That's just an off drive this time, down to mid-off for a single. You can already see that these Joburg players are more technical than the Athens players. Play more from the coaching manual. Some of the Athens players a bit more unorthodox. And that could be a wide as it goes down the leg side. Let's see what the umpire outstretched arms. Delighted to be joined by Sajid from the Joburg Cricket Club. Welcome, Sajid.
Thank you very much.
How do you think your team are doing in this game? You seem to be on top.
Yeah, it's been a good start from the boys. I think they were a bit nervous early on, conceded quite a lot of runs, a lot of wides early on in the first 2 overs, but ever since those 2 overs, they got that behind them. They've settled down. They've taken the game by the scruff of the neck now, and the fielding has been fantastic from the boys. We know they have been working very hard in the past 2 days on the fielding. Saw some fantastic catches today. A lot of pressure was being built by our seamers, I think from overs 3 or 4 all the way until about number 10 when we had the first drinks break, and we really tightened things up then, and we managed to bowl them out for I think it's 63, and hopefully our batsmen can get the runs now. They seem to be on top, haven't lost a wicket yet, and things are going well.
Some pressure on your team, being defending champions, of course, having come last year and lifted the trophy.
Yes, absolutely. I think we have our chairman of the club, Mr. Indran Govender. He unfortunately couldn't make it this year, but he's been here for the past 2 years, and he was here with the young guys when they won the title. And there's a lot of expectation back home in South Africa. We've got a lot of publicity from the media in Johannesburg, and everyone knows that we're on this tour, and we've come here to win it. But more importantly, not just about the cricket. The guys are here to create friendships, to create lasting bonds with the other youngsters from around the world, to learn about different cultures. In South Africa, we've got a lot of culture, and it's all about cultural diversity. And we're from an area in Joburg where it's a very socially depressed area, and the purpose of our club is we're trying to raise the game in these areas. We're trying to bring businesses back into the Johannesburg inner city, where previously it was a flourishing area, and ever since say the last 20 or 30 years it's kind of gone down a bit, and our club is trying to bring that back up, taking kids off the streets from broken homes, and bringing them into our club, our home ground called Hope Village. And we've named the club, or our home ground, Hope Village, for a very specific reason, and it resembles straight from the word hope. We are trying to give hope to these young ones from these areas, and we teach them a lot of life skills there. It's not only about cricket. We make sure we focus on education as well, and hopefully we'll see some future stars here in the national South African team in the next decade or so.
Ambitious target that, but it's very inspiring to hear you say about the ethos of the club, the objectives of the club, having that kind of community cohesion. I've just been one of my recent projects was working with Sierra Leone. I've just was a producer of a documentary about cricket in Sierra Leone. Very similar objective actually, to try and use cricket to try and bring the communities. They've had a civil war in Sierra Leone and a lot of social problems there, to try and use cricket to sort of heal the wounds, if you like. So it's good to see that that's happening elsewhere in Africa. The LBW shout there, and it's
caught him.
It's caught him. Right. So we were just chatting with just missed a wicket there, but early breakthrough for Athens. They need that, of course. They've only posted 63. So they needed to come out really firing on all cylinders, as you say. And I've actually been quite impressed with how they've started. The coach has clearly said to them at half-time, look, we're behind in this game. We need a really, really good effort against a strong team, defending champions. But they've managed to get that breakthrough. Absolutely.
I've been very impressed with the start from the Athens team. They've got some nice seamers up front. It looks like the lefty bowls a few off-cutters and a few leg cutters. And as you can see, Joburg Cricket Club struggling to get the guys away. I don't think we've hit a boundary as yet, but it's all about just building the innings. We do have 20 overs to get to the 63 runs, so it's all about just making sure we don't lose too many early wickets, and I think in the back end of the innings, with the wickets in hand, we should be able to hit a few boundaries.
Well, I was saying on commentary actually that the approach of the openers was quite classical. A lot of drives, quite wristy. Whereas obviously some approach 2020 very much as a bish bash bosh, particularly with the popularity of the IPL and the Big Bash and etc. But your players seem to be to play in the right manner, if you see what I mean. Quite classical, and that was good to see. And as you say, because you haven't got an imposing total to chase, you can take your time, get used to the wicket.
Yeah, correct. Well, back in South Africa in the club cricket, we play on every Sunday morning and afternoon. We play very very few 20-20 games, so it's actually time games where the games last either 50 or 60 overs. So the guys have learned from a young age to play good cricket, technically correct cricket. We've got a few coaches who do teach them, and the batsman on strike with the yellow helmet, De Nolan, he's probably the best batsman in the team. He scored plenty of runs this season, quite a few hundreds. So he's probably the man that they need to get rid of. And as you can see, he's got some lovely drives there.
He looks to have very positive footwork.
Correct.
Probably of the batsmen I've seen today, he's very positive, making sure he gets to the pitch of the ball.
Very good balance as well.
Yeah.
And he's got some good wrist work as well, as you can see from that one.
Let's talk a bit more about the tournament as a whole. You've been involved for a few years. How did you first find out about the tournament, and what made you commit to travelling such a long way to play in this tournament in Corfu?
We were very fortunate enough to have a very close bond and relationship with the Saheti school back home in South Africa. And the Saheti school it's a Greek school which was founded by Advocate George Bezos, who is Greek and a very close friend of the late Nelson Mandela. And we managed to form a close relationship with them. And when the president of the Greek,
just pause there while we see another wicket. We were just singing De Nolan's praises, and I think he just was a bit early on that possibly, and just spooned a catch. So De Nolan's gone, and Athens had given themselves a chance with Johannesburg at 14 now for 2.
Yeah, they're right back in the game, and that's quite a crucial blow there for Joburg Cricket Club. And then hopefully the batsmen to come now can consolidate a bit and just ease the nerves just a little.
Do you think this might be a case of feeling that they're very on top, obviously having restricted them to 63? Maybe you think this is a stroll in the park? It's not going to be now, I don't think. They're going to have to earn this victory.
Well, I hope not. The head coach did have a word with them at the interval and say, let's not be complacent, let's make sure we get these runs. And I think it's just a matter of still trying to be positive, but also protecting your wicket. And I think maybe it wasn't the right ball and the right shot. I think the shot selection was pretty poor on that ball, and unfortunately he skied it, and it was a pretty easy catch for the fielder running in from mid-off.
I think with that kind of shot, if you are going to go aerial, you've got to commit to it.
Correct.
Whereas that, he kind of played a checked drive. And it wasn't quite at the pitch of the ball.
Yeah, it's very different as well because they're playing with more of a rubber ball in this ground because of the surroundings. I think it's a bit more difficult to get used to it. I think the ball pops a little bit more as well. So it's not as easy to get into it, but the guys need to learn, and I'm sure this will be a good learning experience for them.
What was your game against yesterday? What team did you face yesterday?
We played against a school from New Delhi, and it went off well. We managed to restrict them to 65, and
similar to
very similar. Only thing difference yesterday was we managed to win by 10 wickets in about 8 overs. So it was our 2 openers did a very good job, and we're hoping for something similar today. But unfortunately, it hasn't quite gone that way with the bat thus far. But it's.
That is, I would say, an unlucky.
That looked like it may well have pitched outside leg.
The umpire's given that. Batsman looked a little bit bemused, but there we go. The umpire's given it. So it's another wicket down for Joburg, and Athens fielders must have been quite down in the halfway stage, and now they just think they might have found some chinks in the armour. You have to stay on. Do you? So, I don't think any of us were quite expecting this. I was expecting Joburg to be quite confident, play it round. I think
We need to have a lot of consolidation. We've got our captain coming to the crease now, Mr. Mohsin Khan, very solid batsman as well. He does play in the Premier League team, in the senior team back home in Johannesburg, so he's had a lot of experience facing quick bowlers and got a very good head on his shoulders. So I'm hoping he can bring a bit of calm to the situation here and just consolidate. And I think the plan going forward will probably be to just go at 2 or 3 and over, not lose any wickets until, say, probably in the next 5 overs, and then hopefully lay that platform to have a bit of a hit at the end and take the team home.
Yeah, I think your boys will feel happier when they've maybe got 35-40 on the board.
Yeah, I think
and then they'll just, maybe the pressure will release a bit, and then we might see them playing a bit more of the natural game. It's going to be, I would suggest, a bit of a nervous passage of play here, where Athens clearly have their tails up.
Absolutely.
And, your guys maybe have to just withstand a bit of pressure, but that's good experience for young players to get through those tough situations and show your captain and your coach that you have the character to dig deep.
Absolutely, and I think this will be a good test. Obviously, the ambition is to hopefully get to the final and win it, and to get there we're going to have to get through tough patches, and this is probably...
Oh dear, that's another one. That's just worked off his toes, and speculative hand just stuck a hand out really, and it stuck. Some wonderful catches in the Athens innings as well, and that one, I think the batsman is just a bit bemused because he would have expected to see that trickle out towards the boundary and maybe take a single, but sometimes they just stick.
Absolutely, I think he's just played a little too early on that, hasn't rolled the wrists sufficiently, and just popped it up to mid-wicket where he's taken a very sharp catch going to the right. Looks like the Athens fielders' tails are up, their fielding has been spot on today, they haven't put a foot wrong as yet. And yeah, very impressed with the work going on from the boys in blue in Athens.
As you were saying, Joburg have got to show some character here. They've got to think back to their coaching, think back mentally to times when they got through difficult situations in matches. Cricket, for those of you who haven't watched a lot of cricket, is a game where pressure can really tell, particularly batting, where you can make a very small mistake and potentially pay the price, as we just saw there. Maybe slightly lazy shot, but 9 times out of 10 you may get away with it. My thanks to Sajid there for joining us and telling us a bit more about the Joburg Cricket Club, and perhaps we'll hear from him again later in the innings.
No problem, thanks a lot.
So my thanks to Shazit. Nice to be joined by someone from one of the teams, and inspiring story about the work that Joburg Cricket Club is doing in that difficult, slightly depressed area of Johannesburg, looking to revive it, looking to give hope to the young people of that community. But they need some hope here, as they've lost some early wickets. And Athens, as you would expect, looking to seize the initiative here, but they've got a slip in place. They've got fielders close to the bat, and they're looking to make that pressure tell. Joburg just need to be patient. Plenty more overs, quite a low total they're chasing. They just need to take some fire out of the game, some time out of the game. It's been an impressive bowling effort so far. And this match is actually a repeat of last year's final, although the Athens team is under a slightly different name this year. It involves many of the same players, so they should know each other's game quite well. That's a wide. That will help alleviate some of the pressure. LBW shout, but looked like it was going down leg side. That's a nice shot. Just looked to steer it, but fine of backward point, but just picked up a backward point. No run there. So it's tantalisingly poised. There was a fear at the halfway stage in this game that it would be a bit of a one-way contest, that Joburg would come out and smash these runs off pretty comfortably, as they did yesterday against Delhi. But Athens have had different ideas, and with those 4 early wickets they put Joburg under considerable pressure, and it must be quite difficult for the batsmen there. They can see the fielders on their toes, closing in on them, wondering where the next runs are going to come from, but they need to ride that period out, absorb the pressure. And just remember that they are chasing what was quite a modest total. I think we've got a fascinating 2 or 3 overs ahead of us. A few more wickets and it'll swing Athens' way, a couple of boundaries and it'll swing back Johannesburg way. It's a nice shot, but just finds cover. Just beat the edge that time. That could be out. That's a low catch taken. The batsman is walking, so they think that's a clean catch. Has taken a centimetre off the turf, maybe a bit more bounce than he was expecting. And that is the 5th wicket down. Johannesburg here are cracking under the pressure being exerted by Athens, who are, to use a phrase, cock-a-hoop. They came out firing, and Johannesburg just have not been able to break the stranglehold. And the total of 63, which didn't seem particularly competitive, is looking a lot bigger than it did half an hour or so ago. For 5. It's not a scorecard which makes pleasant reading for those supporters of the Johannesburg school. I know many of you will be supporters or even parents of some of these boys, be really feeling for them now and hoping that they can dig deep and rescue themselves from this perilous position they found themselves in. 16 for 5 off 6 overs in a 2020. It's not the kind of score you usually see in the IPL or televised matches. But an education as a cricketer is not just about the good times, it's also about what you learn from the tough times. It's just that's a misfield there. Let's see what the umpire gives here, whether that touched anything. Yeah, must have got something on that. just medium pace now from Athens. Probably hear a minute ago the excited voices of the Athens fielders chatting to each other, encouraging each other, as you would expect. A bit quieter in the Johannesburg camp to my right. A few glum faces. I don't think they were expecting it to go quite like this. Getting some innovative field placings. We've got two players catching on the drive. One at cover and one at mid-off. Possibly encouraged by that earlier false stroke of De Nolan. Well, that is a bigger shot. He's a bit quite confident. It's just plugged in the ground now. It's not going to go for 4. They do come back for 2. Just played it over the infield, showing a bit of confidence. And that's brought a round of applause. The first noise you've heard for a while from Johannesburg, who have been a bit stunned by the clatter of wickets. Just played that off his toes, but didn't get it past the man. Square leg. Crowd's really built up around the boundary now. It's really great to see. It's a nice attempt at a late cut, but finds backward point. Tourists maybe walking through the town, stop off for a bit of a drink and watch some cricket. Very pleasant. Also a great way for Greek cricket to have this kind of visibility by having this ground, this historic ground right in the centre of town, rather than tucked away on a private recreation ground, for instance. It does mean that they can spread the word of cricket. Maybe some of the people sitting around the boundary today will like what they see and find out about cricket, get in touch with the federation or one of the local clubs, and that can be a great way of increasing the player base in Greece. This is what the Hellenic Cricket Board are seeking to do: increase the numbers of participants, both male and female, and drive performance levels from that increased player base to translate into results at international level. And the Greek national team are playing in Spain in May in European Division 3, and if they were to win that, they would be promoted to Division 2, which is in England, in June. So a lot to play for Greece, but for now their focus is on this school's tournament. That's his attempted pull shot, but it's been given as a wide. A couple of glimmers of hope here for the Hope School as they look to rebuild after a horror few overs where they lost wickets. That's a powerful cut shot that may well go out towards the boundary, and that's the first boundary for quite some time. In fact, it might be the first of the innings. Just a little bit short, rocked back, timed it well, beat the man at extra cover and trickled away to the boundary. Takes them into the 20s, and a smile starting to reappear on the Joburg bench. That might be a wide. It's outside. Umpires let that go. It's outside off. Batsman let it go through in the end. Single as it's just played out to extra cover. That's nearly the edge as he just thrust a bat out at it, and more in hope than expectation, really. It just went past the edge. an indecisive stroke. That's a bit better. That's just deliberately opened the face, just rolled the wrists and allowed that to guide down to third man, where they took the single. It's just driven back to the bowler. Half stops it, backed up by his friend down at long on, and at the end of the over, score approaching 30 off 9 overs with 5 wickets down, and I'll be back with you shortly. Couple of LBW shouts there, but not given. So in the 10th over, 26 for 5, chasing 63. And that's gone. That's hit the top of off stump. That's what they say for bowlers. If you can hit the top of off stump, that's what you're aiming to do. And in that occasion, the forward press from the batsman failed to connect with the ball and took the off bail. And the 6th wicket is down, 26 for 6 in the 10th over. This is looking a tall order now for Johannesburg, who would have been confident of wrapping up quite a comfortable victory after restricting Athens to 63. Now find themselves in deep trouble, 26 for 6. The new batsman is Waleed. He'll be a hero if he can take Johannesburg over the line here. Defending champions, of course. And with a comfortable win yesterday, we're looking ominous for the remainder of the teams, but unless there were some heroics by these two and the tail, they may find themselves with the commiserating each other over lunch rather than cheering a victory. But who knows? Cricket, as they say, is a funny old game, and there's still time for them to rescue this innings. Another LBW shout, but I think he got outside the line there. Short drinks break here. This gives another chance to just pause and reflect on the tournament as a whole and its objectives, looking to spread the spirit of cricket amongst countries from across the world. Bulgarian team playing in this tournament, Guernsey, which is a small island off the United Kingdom, who director of Guernsey cricket is Nick Pothas, who previously represented the Greek national team and also the South African national team, and played for a long time for Hampshire in England. So he has a close link. And a Guernsey team here. 6 teams from India, 2 teams from Greece, and 2 from South Africa, and the Bulgarian under-17s. Bulgaria very much team in development, not one of the favourites for the title, but great to see that a country like Bulgaria is embracing cricket. A lot of challenges ahead for them to find the coaches, the grounds, the finance, get into the schools, try and establish a cricket culture, which is not easy to do, particularly in a country which is fixated by football. But it's great to see the Bulgarian team here, and even if they can't get victories, hopefully they can learn from the experience and gain new friends and new supporters across the world. I think we're set to resume here after a short drinks break. Just to remind you of the match situation. 10 overs gone. And Joburg wobbling on 27 for 6, chasing 63 posted by Athens in this crucial match on the second day of the 4th International Schools Tournament. That could have gone. Yeah, it's got a thin edge through to the keeper. Well taken. And it gets worse and worse for Joburg. So they lose their 7th wicket. They've only got 27 runs on the board. 36 required and only 3 wickets left. It's looking difficult. This balance in this situation is, do you be brave and try and get your team out of trouble, but in doing so take a few risks? Or do you just knuckle down, play defensively and hope that the bowlers tire or opportunities come up? In that case, took the risk, but paid the penalty. Nervously played, first delivery, half forward, squirted off the outside edge, and these Athens fielders, all of them on the edge of their toes, ready to pounce on any opportunities that come their way as the sun beams down again. That's a nice looking straight drive, straight to mid-off. Again, similar shot, almost an action replay. Went for a cover drive there, but got there a bit early, turned his wrists, ended up mid-on, and there's no run. You can see the Johannesburg bench there, looking a little thoughtful and introspective, as well they might, being 27 for 7. Attempt at a big booming drive there, but came off the inner half of the bat, and no run. The batsman hoped to see that whistling past extra cover. It's a good ball, just back of a length, a little bit of rise. Batsman just defended it under his chin. That could be a boundary. Yep, that runs away. That's going to be 4. And boy, do they need that. Is there going to be another twist in this game? Spoke earlier about the ebb and flow of it. A good cricket match should have an ebb and flow where the initiative goes between the batting and the bowling teams. It makes it a very tense drama for those watching. I think we have a case in point here. I think that's gone, is it? That's just, yeah, pitched on off, went clip middle bail, I think, just the top of middle stump. And that's a good ball. That's just cut in and evaded the defensive stroke. And we're just talking about that ebb and flow, the boundary, release the pressure, and then the very next ball, pressure back on with the 8th wicket down. And that really was an excellent delivery. The batsman would have thought for a while that he had a little bit of room to play the drive, but it just came back in off the seam and took out middle stump. Bells ring out. Just signal midday. And that is an inside edge, I think, just evades the keeper. Think about a single and then scamper back. Again, that shape from the bowler just seaming in. Big heave-ho from the batsman there, but got nowhere near it. And comfortably taken by the keeper. And then the batsman practices an impeccable leave. .31 for 8. So mistimed drive. No run there. Eight overs left. It's just played that shot slightly too early. It was there to cut. In a game where the top order have struggled, it's difficult to expect too much of the tail enders, but that is a crunching cover drive. Extra cover drive. Bounces off the hoarding down by the cafes there. Great sight as a batsman when you see the umpire flurry of arms signalling the boundary. 35. Still 28 required. That's a good ball. LBW shout, but just missing leg. That's a good shot. It's just chase on there for mid-off. Good chase and collects it just before the boundary. I would say we've got several hundred spectators now around the ground, mainly in the cafes that line the boundary's edge here. We've seen that shot quite often today from Joburg. A pleasant looking drive, but straight to the man. The conference in the middle, the two batsmen, trying to plot a strategy for how to rescue Joburg from what is quite a dire situation for them in this game. They've only got 2 wickets left. They need another 26 runs. Gone. I think that's taken the middle stump out as well. Just taken middle bail out. He looked for the pull shot. It probably wasn't quite short enough. Didn't bounce that much. And that is a 9th wicket down. So we've got the final. There's one more left for Athens to claim victory in this game, and in a sense revenge for losing in last year's final. And every time Johannesburg get a glimmer of hope with the boundary, soon afterwards they lose a wicket. That's been a pattern to this innings. They haven't had a passage of play where they've been able to build a partnership and rotate the score. And they're now staring defeat very much in the face. So 13 overs gone, 37 for 9, chasing 63. Athens will be looked to wrap this up very quickly. The fielders are surrounding the batsman as you'd expect, with the amount of ascendancy they have in this game. Oh, that was almost a catch as it's a half lunge, just popped off in front and almost fell to short extra cover. This could be out. That's gone. That's the victory for Athens. As the squad are ecstatic. Look at the scenes out there as they jump and clap and slap each other on the back. And look at the contrast between the departing Joburg batsman, head slumped. They know that they set themselves up for victory in this game, but they didn't bat well enough. They didn't build partnerships. And allied to some excellent fielding and bowling from Athens, Athens have claimed victory in this morning's match at Spianada by 26 runs. Joburg got a win against Delhi yesterday, but they've fallen short today and lost their 100% record. Good to see both teams lining up to shake hands. So the spirit of cricket is fundamental to the success of this tournament here in Corfu. The spirit of camaraderie and respect that flows through this tournament as the players congratulate each other. Commiserations for Joburg. Congratulations to Athens.